Hello, everybody. Hi. Okay, so I'm turned here because I wanted to show you guys today. I've had a lot of people ask me about an armpit detox. So if you're watching me for the first time, my name is Crystal Spink, and I'm going to show you guys how to do a DIY armpit detox. Now you're probably like, why should I do an armpit detox? Well, how many of you? Oops. Now you're probably how many of you have? Hi, Ann. How many of you have tried natural deodorant or attempted to try aluminum-free deodorant and yes, your pit stunk, right? So it happens a lot. And the reason why that is, people attempt to try to use a natural deodorant. And then what happens is that it ends up not being effective for them. And then they quit it. They quit after a week or two, right? They quit after a couple weeks. Or some people quit after 24 hours. It just really depends on what you... My daughter's crying for me. We just came in from the pool and my husband's making dinner. So I like to use this little bad boy first. Okay, so you just fill it up with water. You just stick it like that. You turn it on. Here it goes. So how many of you, like I said, started like a natural deodorant or an aluminum-free deodorant and you were like, I can't do this. My armpits stink. They're sweaty. It smell like onions. I can't do it. That kind of thing. So I love this little thing. I use this on my face as well. So I'm going to use it on my face as well. But if you've never used a facial steamer before, it is the most amazing thing. It helps to open up your pores. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about armpit detox. Lance? So a little bit about an armpit detox is the reason why people struggle with getting that scent away is there's bacteria. We have tons of lymph nodes that are in our armpit. They go from our armpit, they go to around our breasts in men and women, right? So when you're using an antiperspirant, the purpose of an antiperspirant is to stop sweating, right? So I used to use antiperspirant. My husband uses antiperspirant. Antiperspirant's purpose is to clog your pores, right? To clog your pores. Hi, Diana, to clog your pores, right? So it literally, that's why an antiperspirant is so thick, because it's meant to stop the sweating, right? So you have all of this buildup inside of your armpit, right? From years of use, right? And so when you switch over to a natural deodorant, you're gonna get that stench because all of that's coming out. What other things affect it? Food, spicy food, medication. Medication has an effect on it as well. Also, if you, hormones affect it. So like I said, we have all of these lymph nodes. Hi, Diana. Hi, Cassandra. So we have all of these lymph nodes. Hi, Terry. So we have all of these lymph nodes and we have this stench going on. It smells like onions, right? Now, not everybody smells like onions. Some people can have a sweet smell. Some people can have a sour smell. I call it like a Chinese buffet, right? It's like a buffet. You get a sweet or sour or tangy smell. It's very true. Google it. It's very true. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually just detoxing my armpit and I'm opening up the pores. That's why I like to do this. Now, whenever you switch over from a antiperspirant to a aluminum-free, you have to detox your armpits. Now, I know people think I'm crazy. Yes, you have to detox your armpits. The reason why is because all that antiperspirant's in there, all that deodorant's in there, A, with chemicals, B, an antiperspirant is so thick it clogs. Have you ever seen like a man's dress shirt, like an undershirt, after wearing deodorant for antiperspirant? It's like thick and it's hard. Like my husband used to be like that. Like before I met him, I'm like, you need to throw these things away. Like that's gross. So I like to do that for a few minutes. And then the other thing that I like to do, if I can find them. Now, you want to take like a charcoal bar. Okay, you want to take a charcoal bar. Now, the charcoal bar I use is pretty bomb. And I love it. It's the only charcoal bar that's really worked for me. It also has peppermint in it. But using a charcoal bar in the shower every single day is going to kill bacteria. So I know it's kind of like, have you ever like tried like a body detox? Like it's legitimately like a body detox. Like it's not something that happens overnight. It takes a couple of times to actually get that going, you know? And so I have a lot of people who say to me, well, it didn't happen in like 4 or 5 days. Well, it can take up to 4 weeks. If you think about it, you have all of that gunk, you have all of that in there. Now, doctors even recommend that you do a reset every 30 to 60 days, sometimes 90 days. So like when you start a new eating program, you have to get all that gunk out. Like when I started my natural eating, like just grass-fed meat and stuff, losing all that carbs and all of that chemical-based processed food, like your body goes through a detox, but that also comes out of your armpits. Like I said, we lose everything. Lymph node drainage, like that's like the inflammation of the face. Lymph node drainage comes out of that armpit, right? So when you start using a aluminum-free deodorant, you're gonna have that stench. Now I know it's hard for us because we've been so conditioned to be like, oh, that stinks. Like, but who really wants to stink? Nobody really wants to stink. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. BO means your body is healthy. Like that's what your body's naturally supposed to do. Your body's supposed to naturally get rid of things. And so if it's not, then I would worry a little bit, right? Especially if you're switching over. So I like to do this once a week when I first started. Sometimes I had to do it twice a week. Just depends on everybody's chemistry, everybody's body. So I would do this steaming once or twice a week, but every night when I take a shower, I would use a charcoal bar on my armpit. Now, I thought this was done. The reason why is because charcoal bar helps to detox. It kills bacteria, but it also is going to help kind of open up that pore a little bit more. So that's the first thing I would suggest, using a steamer like this, and you can use it for your face as well. I like to use this on my face before I put my mask on, but you want to make sure you get a charcoal bar because that's going to kill that bacteria every single day. That's the main issue. Now, some people are like, well, the charcoal bar doesn't even work for me. Well, it didn't for me either at first until I realized that I had to do something else with it. So, I use a clay mask on my face because I have larger pores. I'm oilier in my T-zone area, but also like if you struggle with blackheads or whiteheads or anything like that, a clay mask is going to be really good for you, right? So if a clay mask is good for your face, then it's going to be good for your armpits, right? So the mask that I used when I detoxed my armpits was phenomenal. It made the process go so much faster. It made it go so much more smoother. And I was able to get through it probably in a couple weeks versus the norm is about four weeks, right? So it kind of moved the process on a little bit faster. So if you've never used a clay mask before, and I don't know much about other clay masks, I only know about my clay mask, is that it helps. I need to get like a spatula or something for down here to help with it because I hate touching my armpits. I hate it. So a clay mask helps with, and so you just put it along the armpit where the pores are, okay? And so I like to put this on and I leave it on for about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'll hop in the shower and I'll just remove it. Now, why is this important? Because clay mask draws out bacteria It draws out any sort of toxins. Now, you want to make sure that you're careful and you're looking for specific ingredients when you do it, okay? So as you can see, I've got that going. I missed a spot back here. It's hard when you can't see in the mirror. So you want to look for tea tree. So there's tea tree inside of this clay mask. And if you don't know much about tea tree, like tea tree is great for putting on your kids' heads to avoid lice. I spray like a whole bunch of essential oils on my daughter to keep the lice away from when she goes to dance or whatever around other kiddos. So tea tree is really great for killing bacteria. It's great for protecting your hair. It's great if you have body acne. It's great for killing that bacteria and it's spreading around. Also, this has Montana clay in it. Montana clay is great for detoxing. It has cinnamon bark and white carrot oil. Those ingredients combined really pull everything out. So I always tell people, would you rather walk to the mall or would you rather take a bus to the mall, right? I ain't walking right now. I just got done mowing. I'm a sweaty mess. But if it was a day that was like a nice cool day, I'd probably walk, but I'd rather take the bus. So I always tell people, when you're starting to use an aluminum-free deodorant, would you rather walk to the mall or would you rather take the bus? That's why this is going to help you. It's going to speed it up faster. It's going to help alleviate and pull everything out of those pores. Like I said, I love to use this on my middle part of my face. I have before used an Aztec clay. Aztec clay is very powerful stuff and it can actually burn you. Like it's very powerful. And I've used it and it's great, but it's very powerful and not all skin ailments can use it. That's why I like this, because all skin ailments can use it. Rosacea, eczema, psoriasis, blue skin, red skin, pink skin, acne prone skin, obviously. I love to use this as a spot treatment. Aztec clay, like I said, is like Montana, this clay on steroids. Like it's very powerful. And if you don't know how long to leave it on, you can really burn your skin. You can dry your skin out, all of that. But what I love about this particular mask is that it has little tiny exfoliating beads in it. You can't see them because it's clay, but it has little tiny exfoliating beads in it. So it's also exfoliating your skin. Now, after I rinse off this in the shower, because I leave it on for about 10 to 15 minutes, I like to go in and I like to use a lactic acid pad, okay? I love these lactic acid pads. If you've never heard of lactic acid before, lactic acid is not only phenomenal for anti-aging, but it's phenomenal for reducing wrinkles, fine lines, reducing acne, killing bacteria, but it's a natural chemical exfoliator. So a lot of people want to do like chemical peels and all those types of peels. Well, not all skin ailments can do chemical peels, right? Because psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, and let's just face it, our pocketbooks really can't always afford going to the salon, right? So before the C word happened, I was going once a month. It was phenomenal. I loved it. And then the C word happened and I couldn't get to the salon. And then the girl that I went to left and I wasn't happy, whatever. And then these lactic acid pads came out. This is a chemical, this is equivalent to a chemical peel without the chemical in it, but it does better, okay? Lactic acid actually has better long-term effects on your skin, right? So what lactic acid usually does, and I use this underneath my armpits and on my face after I shower, because the clay mask is actually pulling the toxins and the dirt to the surface. And then when I take this exfoliating pad, this lactic exfoliating pad, it actually is going to powerfully remove the rest of it. So that clay mask just brings it to the surface. And then when I take that exfoliating lactic acid pad, it just removes it all, kills bacteria, exfoliates it off. It's gonna help just make the process more smoother and faster. So I also use these on my face too. They're meant for your face, but you can use them on your armpits. I mean, you already have the pad out, so you might as well just do a couple of swipes on there, right? So I feel like these, because I use them, they're multi-purpose. So, you know, I use the mask on my oily areas, large pores. I also use it as spot treatment if I have any breakouts, like hormonal breakouts. I use it on my armpits, and I use the lactic pads on my face and on my chest and shoulders for anti-aging, but also I use them on my armpits to pull that extra gunk off of there. Whenever you use like an exfoliating, when you're manually exfoliating your skin, you're only getting that top layer of skin, no matter what you use with exfoliator. But when you use like a lactic acid pad, exfoliating pad, you're getting down a couple more surfaces, right? So that's why it's really important to use a lactic acid exfoliating pad, because as we start to age, our skincare doesn't become as effective as it was because we have more dead, dry skin, right? So that's why using these is going to let your skincare absorb faster, but it's going to allow it to be more effective. That's why I like to use it on my armpits, because then when I put my aluminum-free deodorant on, it's going to be more effective and it's going to last longer. Now, when you're looking for aluminum-free deodorants, there's a lot of things that you should look for. Now, I have a list of specific things that you should look for, because there are some out there that have cool temperature patent on them. And so if you want that list, shoot down a fire emoji below and I will shoot that information for you for free. It's totally awesome. So if you've ever thought about switching over to natural deodorant or aluminum-free deodorant, don't worry, I totally get it. The armpits can stink like onions. I get it. I'm just gonna keep it 100 here and just throw the elephant in the room. Like, don't pretend like you don't have it, because I know there's people who have it. So I know people will deny it, but I know there are people that do struggle with that, right? And so this really helps the process smoother and faster. So I hope this was educational for you guys. This is something that I do a couple of times a week when I first started it. Eventually, once you get through that detox part, you should only have to do it maybe once a month. You know what I mean? And then you start to, slowly not have to do it as much. That's what I like. And that's why I like the lactic acid pads, because they have more long-term than a chemical peel, right? Chemical peels are really harsh on your skin. They dry them out. You have to be using, we should be using SPF on our face, but you become more sun sensitive because it is a chemical. You have literally a chemical. It's like if you went outside with a benzoyl peroxide or salicylic acid on, you would burn. It's typically, you'll find that in acne-based products over the counter, but that will burn your face. Like, you will burn like a lobster. So that's why I like to use these lactic acid pads. Hi, Melissa, on my armpits once a month. But when I'm first starting, I do it a couple times a week with my clay mask. And then after I'm done, out of the shower, I'll put that lactic pad on, and then I'll put it on my face first, and then whatever's left over, I'll do my armpit, because like I said, lactic acid gets down below the surface, right? So like when I use my skin polish on my face or my exfoliator on my face, it's only getting the top surface, that exfoliator. When I use a pad, a lactic pad, it gets down 2 or 3 layers. So you have that skin polish or exfoliator that already kind of manipulated that dead, dry skin. And then when you take a pad like this and you put it on your armpit or your face, it's getting deeper down. So you're gonna see more effective results. And then, like I said, when it comes to aluminum free, there are specific ingredients inside of the aluminum free that you have to look for. Not all aluminum free deodorant is made equal. And I tell people that not all aluminum free deodorants are made equal. Just because somebody says it's aluminum free doesn't necessarily mean it's aluminum free. Don't be greenwash. Greenwash is a term that's used where they say that it's natural or they say that it's sulfate free or paraben free, and it's not. So you have to really look at ingredients. You have to really advocate for yourself. So guys, like I said, if you want the top 5 things to look for in an aluminum free deodorant, comment down below, fire emoji, and I will send that to you guys. No problem, no questions asked. So I hope you guys have a great day. I hope this was educational for you. And just remember, kindness is trending. So make sure you're being kind. I'll see you guys.